Hey, how's it going? I'm Links, and today I'm going to show you how to defeat floor 1, 2 and 3 of the demonic beast battle against Skoll and Hati. As always, check the timestamps in the description down below for the different parts if you want to skip to say floor 2 or 3 or whatever. But here I'll first go over everything you need to know before you actually jump into it. So first of all, the team I'm going to be using in this video is the team that's considered to be the very best for this particular content. And it is the team that's utilizing the Dark Traitor Meliodas, the Freyr, the OG Green Liz, and also the very new Thonar. Now there are of course different teams or different variations of this particular team that work. So for example, if you don't have this Thonar, you can use Festival Gopher instead. Other teams that work is that instead of Meliodas, you can use Festival Chad King, and instead of this Elizabeth here, you can just use Blue Brawler Ban because of his passive. That's gonna reduce the enemy's attack rated stat to the point where they will actually patience the King Shield, so you won't ever take any damage with that team. Other teams that work, say for example you don't have this Freyr, you can use the Skadi, and then you can just use either something like Brunhild or Festival Gopher. Those two should work really well. But anyway, the gear I'm using for this team is this gear. So I have attack crit damage on both my Meliodas and Freyr, and then I got HP defense on Elizabeth and Thonar. Now why do I have these pieces right here? Well, it's because I did roll for crit resistance on them, just so that they won't get crit on. You could of course, instead of HP defense, you could go HP crit resistance and then with crit resistance sub rolls, or perhaps even defense sub rolls, or a combination thereof, because if they don't get crit they won't take that much damage, so you don't really need the defense in that case. Now you could also slap, say, attack defense on Meliodas and Freyr. I do feel like Freyr kind of needs the crit damage, but it's not really needed, but yeah, whatever. Like, this is the gear I'm running. And as for the artifact card set, I got the new demonic beast battle card set, so it pretty much increases your basic stats by a certain percentage, I think up to 10% at level 5, mine is only level 4. And it also prevents you from getting frozen, and also removes freeze if you gain 5 ultimate move gauge orbs, which can become really helpful. Now if you don't have that card set, then you can just run the old demonic beast battle card set, which increases your single target damage by 20%. That should still work very well, but this new one, if you can farm, say, the deer, then do that, and also get this card from the PvP shop. Alright, so next up we're gonna have a look at Skoll and Hati. I'm not gonna go over exactly what they do. If you wanna know exactly what they do, then you can come here and you can click on the different phases and also the different bosses. So for example, it says here that he uses defensive aggression every 2 turns, and he uses mass howling every 3 turns, and these are of course these two abilities, so he uses this every 2 turns and this every 3 turns. The same goes for this boss. He has also abilities that he uses every turn, and they have these abilities that he uses every 2 or 3 turns for the different phases. Now they also have some different hidden mechanics that I will go over in a bit, but as for now, like, if you want to know what they do, then you just check that. Now, just like the other demonic beast battles, Skoll and Hati will gain different passives throughout the different floors. So for example, on floor 1 they will get either this or this one on phase 3. Now the only difference is they only get 1 passive per floor, and it's always on phase 3. So which passives then on floor 1 are the best ones to get? Well, I would say this one. If you're running crit resistance gear on most of your units, then the bosses actually gaining crit damage doesn't really matter to you, because they won't crit you as often. This of course reduces your crit resistance and crit defense, which is quite bad. It's not the end of the world. For example, I gain 40% crit resistance, so having it reduced by 25% isn't the worst. This one is also kind of bad. So for floor 1, if you want to aim for having specific passives, then of course go for this one. And I'll go over the different passives for the different floors as we get to them. Now, because I've already pre-recorded floor 2 and 3, I will show you the recording and sort of talk over it when we get to it. But for the first floor, I will actually do a live commentary, so we'll just go into it here. And I'm gonna show you everything you need to know and what you need to do. Right, so at the start of every battle, if you're running this team, you want to sort of do the same exact attack pattern every single time. So in this case, we're just gonna move Elizabeth card here twice. We're gonna attack with Elizabeth once. On floor 2, you do wanna attack this mob, because Elizabeth will patience this mob, and the same thing goes to floor 3. And why do you actually wanna hit it? Well, it's because of, or rather, why do you wanna do damage? It's because of this passive. You need to actually deal damage 3 times in order to get the attack-related stat increased by 40%. So this is gonna be once, and then we're gonna do another single target attack. We're gonna just waste that card. If you don't have Meliodas, then of course you don't wanna waste the stance cancelling card, because next turn the mob here will get his stance cancelled. Now of course we were lucky, we got 1 melee card. If you don't get a melee card, then you need to move 1 card, attack with the AoE first. And I think that's actually what I'm gonna do, just to show you. Because you go like this, then you attack with an AoE. Now, when we attack, that's gonna be the 3rd time we attack with the for this passive. Then the 4th attack will actually benefit from the attack-related stat increase, which is gonna be this card. And then we're just gonna attack once more. And now we're gonna get Melly's ult, because next turn the bosses are gonna buff up. This boss, the white one, is gonna give himself a 50% defense increase. This other one is gonna give himself a stance card, which reduces the damage this one takes. Yeah, just like that. But now, because we have melee here, we can remove it. Or you can just go for a silver Thonar card. This is also gonna remove it if you don't have it. Or a silver one of these, which is also gonna remove it. Here we're actually gonna push phase. I am going to see if I can't also get Thonar's ultimate. I might actually attack with Thonar first. This is only so that I do get Meliodas' passive. 1 extra stack of Meliodas' passive, which is the damage reduction one. We're gonna do this to remove the stance and remove the buffs. And then we're gonna push phase like this. We're gonna have 2 ultimates. And this is really good for the next phase. Most of the time, if you do this in 3 turns, then yeah, but if you don't do it in 3 turns, the left wolf here will reduce your either attack or attack related stats by 20% for 2 turns, and then you might actually have to stall it out before you actually move to this phase, because not clearing this phase in 1 or 2 turns is going to be very detrimental to you, because the boss has a infect card that he infects everyone with. This for 1 turn, this for 2 turn. If he hits you with the 2 turn one, that's sort of annoying going into the next phase. Unless of course you have a Liz cleanse card, which we will get next turn. Now of course every 2 turns this one also uses short temper, which is this one, which fills the ultimate move gauge, and then he does this one which taunts every 3 turns. No, it's actually every 2 turns. So yeah, he's gonna taunt up the very next turn if we don't kill it, and yeah, I think we actually might be able to kill it. Maybe not, because we didn't get a single more melee card or a single more Thonar card, or Freyr card I mean, but we're gonna go ahead and do this, because this is gonna do, I do have death damage. Like if you get like a melee card or 2 melee cards and this card, then you can easily kill it in 1 turn, even with a 1/6 Thonar. Freyr, I mean, sorry. Because at 1/6 the death damage is 20%, and 20% of 30%, which is like the max damage you can actually deal here, is 6%. So if you hit him 3 times damage cap, and then also plus the 6%, then you only need to hit with 1 attack that does 4% damage, which is like super easy. But I'm wondering if... yeah, I'm probably just gonna attack like this. I don't think this is gonna kill, because this almost does 50% damage, then this does another 30, and I don't think she attacks anywhere near hard enough with HP defense gear that I have on her, so we're gonna get infected at least for 1 turn, which we of course could cleanse, so it's not the end of the world. If it is for 2 turns, then I'm actually gonna wait before I cleanse it. Right, I'm actually gonna cleanse it. So we're just gonna go ahead and cleanse it, and we will get her ult. and I don't really want to waste too many attack cards, but I think this is easily gonna kill. So we get her ult for next turn, or next phase even. And this way we also get, I believe, our final Meliodas passive. And we actually got the good Demonic Beast Battle passive. This is actually the one I got in the pre-recorded video as well, so... Yeah, we got 5 Meliodas damage reduction stacks here. But on this phase you actually do want to kill these two mobs at the exact same time. On floor 2 and 3 you don't actually need to do that, you can focus them down. But if you don't kill them in the same turn, then one will fully heal and gain like a massive increase to his... I think it's HP related stats, or is it just HP? And I do feel like they get like crit resistance and stuff like that, because after that, like Meliodas can't even crit them anymore. I don't think I've ever crit with Meliodas, maybe like once or something, but like, yeah. So you do want to kill them at the exact same turn. So we're just gonna go ahead and chip them down just a little bit. I do tend to focus on this one, because this one can take 30% of his max HP as, you know, total damage, and this one can take 20% every attack. Sort of the attacks that they do, this one is really annoying if he hits Meliodas with it, because it cancels buff and stances, and then Meliodas will of course get all his buffs removed. That's really annoying, because that's where all his damage comes from. But we're gonna go ahead and do this, and we are going to get Freyr's ultimate, and actually do one attack with this one's. Now they can of course also remove our ults. If we're really unlucky, they're gonna remove Liz's ult. Although I'm not sure if that's on floor 1 or maybe just floor 2 and 3. But it's the white one that has that specific attack. So if he targets Liz, he's gonna remove 4 ult gauge orbs, and that's gonna be really bad for us. Now as you can see, everyone has different buffs or debuffs here. So Meliodas has reduced attack now. Liz can't use like level 2 and 3 cards. What was this one that Thonar does? Cannot use buff skills, alright, and Freyr cannot use stance skills. Which is whatever, like you shouldn't have a stance unit anyway, because I think one of the attacks, yeah, this is cancel stances and stuff like that. So if you have a taunt unit with a stance, like it's just gonna attack with that one and it's gonna be removed. But here we're actually gonna get our ultimates with all our units, and we're gonna chip down the right hand side wolf, and I'm actually gonna do an AoE there as well. Now as we're seeing how much percentage they have, because it's 2 mobs so you can't really see the exact percentages, then you actually have to go ahead and calculate that. There is a website that's really good, it's called percentagecalculator.net, so you just plop in the numbers and you'll see how much percentage health they have left. And actually I could just go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna open up 2 instances of that website. And I'm gonna go ahead and look at their health here. Now as you saw, on this turn the boss actually gains like a taunt, so you can't really attack this one if you wanted to, which kind of sucks, but because you got Liz here you can just remove it. Or you can remove it with Meliodas' ultimate, that's also an option. But we're just gonna go ahead, just for the clarity of sakes here, and have a look. 813,030, and he has 190,215, and then you hit calculate and it says 23.3%, so you only need to hit him once to kill him. As for this one, his total is 788,676, and his remaining HP is 204,603, and you plop that in and it says 25%, so you need to hit him twice. Now of course I could do something just to increase our health here a bit. Unfortunately I don't have any heals with like Liz or anything, so I'm just actually gonna attack with her just to increase her health just a little bit, then go ahead and do this, and that should kill both the bosses. I gave her some lifesteal, or maybe it didn't, I don't know. And I think that should be enough. Yeah. And you kill it. Of course you want to finish it off with as much HP as possible. If you can't kill it within that turn, because you saw that the boss actually used was it bleed and poison on me. We can just go ahead and have a look here at the abilities. That one extorts, that one puts poison and bleed. Yeah, so it put poison and bleed. And of course he has a co-destruct which increases damage dealt per debuff on the target. And this one has this attack which he uses the very following turn after this wolf uses the... no, it's not that one, what? Oh yeah, after he uses... oh yeah, I'm looking at phase 2, sorry. After he uses this card. So after he uses poison and bleed on you, the very next turn this wolf will use the Wolf Claw ability, which does release damage, and that's pretty much just gonna kill some of your units. So if you don't have a cleanse, you should focus on actually, you know, pushing that phase. Otherwise, that's totally fine. Just cleansing and waiting a couple of turns, and just sort of trying to get your units up as much as possible before you actually push to the next phase. So anyway, on phase 2, the boss is gonna gain some different passives here, and I do believe the best one you can get is this one. Since most of the times you won't be debuffed if you cleanse with Liz, if you're like lucky like that. If not, like, yeah, of course it's gonna do more damage. But then of course this one is gonna do even more damage, because if you're debuffed with one of your units each, then this is just gonna straight up do 20% more damage, because the boss is gonna get 20% more attack. So it's the same as this one. But if you have more than one debuff on each unit, then it's of course gonna do more. So this one is kind of bad. And this one is also kind of bad. Unless, of course, you're running the King Patience team with Blue Brawler Ban, which will reduce the enemy's attack to the point where they actually will have lower attack than you do. So having this one with that particular team could be better. Unfortunately for me, I tried that team and I wasn't able to push floor 3 with it. So okay, so now we're on floor 2, and the general strategy here doesn't change very much from floor 1. There are a few differences and we'll go over them in a bit, but... for example, the very first attack you do with this Elizabeth here, you need to attack the small wolf with it. So as you see, I've targeted the small wolf and then I attack it, and then I do another attack on the white wolf. And that is because you need to deal damage in order for Thonar's passives to actually work. The bosses do a lot more damage. They also, you know, have a lot more health, have a lot more defense. You will be patient with some attacks, and I probably won't be able to push the phase as quickly as I did before. So yeah, here I'm just removing buffs and trying to attack, trying to get my ultimates and stuff like that, hoping for the best cards I can possibly draw. Like, you do want generally an extra Liz card. Like, if you don't get a Liz card, then yeah, you're gonna get the debuffed here with minus 20% attack, or maybe it's attack rate. I can't remember, it's one of those two. So before I push to the next phase, I actually have to stall out here, and I'm actually going for Liz's ult and just trying to do a little bit of chip damage, you know. Because with Liz's ult I will be able to get Freyr's ultimate again, so that's like one of the good things about it, I guess. I'm not sure if I actually do get Freyr's ultimate here or not. I am sort of just attacking here, I'm removing the shield and just trying to do as much damage as I possibly can. I don't think I kill it on this turn, no. So the next turn I will get the ultimate. But yeah, you just wanna sort of rotate getting your Liz ult as often as you can. Maybe attacking the boss, removing his ult with the Thonar. Here I'm not sure if this is actually the play I go for. Yeah, it is. Alright, so I do get Liz ult, and I do believe next turn I actually do get a cleanse card, so if you merge them you can get a cleanse. Generally it's a bad idea to merge them because you can get the debuff that prevents you from actually using level 2 cards, and then it will derank that card. Luckily here I didn't get it, and it's like a 1 in 4 chance to actually get it, so it's not the worst to actually do the gamble. But yeah, here I think I push phase with 2 melee cards, and then I just merge a Thonar card. Because this boss, he does infect. On level 2 with a single target, he will freeze you. So if you have the new Demonic Beast boss card set, then of course you can prevent yourself from getting frozen by having full ultimate move gauge orb. But yeah, here we're just focusing down one of the wolves, and generally I focus down the left hand side wolf. Like, one of the hidden mechanics they have here is that they get a revive. For whatever reason, I don't think they actually got it on this run. I don't know what actually triggers it. I think it's a certain HP percentage you need to bring them down, but I do believe I've brought them down to like not even close to that percentage, and they still had gotten the revive effect. As you can see, like, he didn't get a revive and he just died. And neither does this one, but I do know they have a revive on floor 2. And as always, like, here I got super lucky. As you can see, I got a lot of like Liz heal cards. I can get her ult again, or I can just heal up and then push into the next floor. So I mean, there's plenty of options, lots of things you can do. And I think that's it for this floor. Oh no, actually, he actually did get a revive there, I think. Yeah. So yeah, they do have revives. I'm not sure what actually triggers it. It's kind of weird. But yeah, just before you push phase, just try to get as many, you know, stacks as possible. Like, once you kill one of the bosses, it's gonna be so much easier. So if you can have like your ults before you push into phase 3, that's gonna be your best bet. Just to push the, like, kill the left hand side boss within like 2 or 3 turns, and you shouldn't really have a problem. Because if you leave it up, he's gonna apply debuffs to you, and then you actually have to get like cleanse cards and stuff like that. Okay, so now we're on floor 3, and what passive you actually get on phase 3 doesn't really matter. The 3 times I actually got to phase 3, the third one being the one I actually beat it on, I got this passive. So I'm not really sure what this one does exactly. It says, at the start of ally's turn, decreases the attack of the enemy with the highest remaining HP by 30%. That's pretty self-explanatory. The unit you have that has the highest HP will have their attack reduced by 30%. And it says, and applies taunt. I'm not sure if it applies taunt to one of the wolves, or if it applies taunt to the unit with the most HP, so that he will focus that unit. I'm not sure, because I haven't gotten this one yet, and but I suppose one of these two would be the best ones to get. Because yes, while you do take more damage from having these passives, which is quite bad, it's even worse to actually have this passive on phase 3, because on phase 3 you want to nuke one of the mobs down as quickly as you possibly can, and having your attack reduced, that kind of sucks. So I think one of these two is the best one. Okay, so now we are on floor 3, and the tactic still hasn't changed very much. Like, the bosses has a lot more HP, they have a lot more defense, they hit a lot harder. And unless you actually manage to get your Meliodas passive up fast enough, and sort of your Freyr passive, like, you could be in danger of actually having one of your units die, even on phase 1, if the White Wolf actually focuses one of your units exclusively. So usually he sort of attacks randomly, but oftentimes he also focuses like one unit, and it can be pretty dicey, like, if you don't get the correct card draws. But like, nothing has changed from the tactic. You're still trying to get your Meliodas ult turn 2, so that turn 3 you can actually remove their buffs and you know, the stand skill. And you're just trying to hope you get like the correct cards. For me personally, like, floor 3 hasn't been as much of an issue as floor 2 has. And I think that's mainly to do with, like, floor 2 you actually have to, because here on floor 3 they hit you so hard, you still need to like make sure that your units are as topped up as they possibly can by the end of floor 2, so that when you transition into floor 3, you won't really like, you won't really die within 1 or 2 attacks, because that is quite a possibility, and you might actually have to use the Liz heal card turn 1 if that's the case. But yeah, you're just trying to stall, you're trying to cleanse, you're trying to do everything like you normally did. Like, the only big difference comes in phase 3, where every turn one of your units will be frozen. So there, once again, the card set comes in handy. And of course in phase 2, the boss will attack one of your units and freeze them, potentially, if he has a silver card. And also, I think if they attack a frozen unit, they deal more damage on phase 2, so yeah. But here, I'm just sort of chipping down the boss, trying to push it into the next phase with as many good cards as I possibly can. And I'm not sure, I can't remember, I did this last night, but I do think I can push this in in sort of one go. I don't think I actually do it here. I don't know why. Oh wait, I actually did. Oh, maybe it's that they don't have like more than 30% you know, damage cap. Maybe it's 35%. Oh man, I can't even remember. It's not like I've spent too much time on phase 3, but I mean, it's not super hard. You do the same thing here. You just focus down one of the wolves, and I usually focus down Hati, or if it's Skoll. I can't remember, the black one. The one that's immune to darkness. And you just hope to get like the best card draws that you possibly can get. And just sort of heal yourself, try to kill the mobs. As you can see, I don't really kill it here. But I do believe I got quite lucky here, so I'll actually play this out and you can actually hear my reaction. I'm introducing my microphone now. Ooh, come on, can I beat it? Oh my god, he's healing back so much. The buff I can remove. Okay, this is actually good. So we go like that. How much health does he have? He can take 30% of his health in one go. I am afraid if he does have the revive ability like he does in floor 2. But we will just go ahead and find out, I guess. So we will do this, we will do this, and then we will cleanse. Because we don't want the debuffs. And the healing is gonna be quite nice actually. One of the wolves are down. And we heal. Now we do have our ult. We're actually in a really good position here. Alright, so he has an ult and one attack. Here I will actually go like this. I will remove the ult if at all possible and do that. Like, I'm only healing as a precaution. I could have attacked, but you know. There we go. There we go. Oh, I actually beat floor 3. Whew. Alright. So yeah, that is going to be my guide for the wolf boss battle. I hope you found it useful. Hope you found it helpful. That it at least helped you a little bit, maybe. And yeah, and if I can give you one more parting wisdom is that just keep doing the boss and you will sort of figure out the small nuances of what exactly you need to do when, in what order, what cards you need to use when you don't have certain other cards and stuff like that. That will come with time, so just keep bashing your head against it and eventually you will beat it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks for watching, hope you liked the video, and yeah, I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!